Shalom. I'm your brother Urumia from the branch of GMS, South Carolina Midlands. And before we start off, all praise, honor, and glory belongs to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakaha Kodash. Double honors to the elder apostles and the elder bishops of Great Millstone who teach and who rule well. And Shalom unto you hopeful elect, scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. To you I say Shalom. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 50 and verse 33. Thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, and all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go. You so-called Negro, Latino, and Native Americans of today, from your respective tribes, we all have been oppressed under the hands of the so-called white man, Esau, Edom. All right. And, this devil, Esau, Edom, he's not going to let us walk away scot-free. Now that we're being woken up to the knowledge, coming back into our nationality on who we truly are and who we serve. All right. Esau, Edom is not going to let us walk out of Babylon the Great, walk out of this captivity scot-free. Because, yes, we are still under captivity. All right. Though we don't got the chains on us. Okay. Like we did, when we was under that hardcore, chattel slavery. We're still bound contractually. All right, and serving this devil, and the scriptures, speak it better than I can. All right, this is the book of Baruch, chapter 3, and verse 8. It says, "Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity." All right, here today. All right, prisoners of war. All right, still working for our primary enemy, Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. Okay. It says, where thou hast scattered us, and the bulk of the Israelites will be over here in America. All right, though, we have brothers scattered abroad, throughout the different continents, different islands. All right, the bulk of Israel is over here in America via captivity. It says, for a reproach and a curse. All right, and this goes back to the curses of what? Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter. All right, I'm going to get straight to the point. Just dealing with us going into captivity and being scattered. Deuteronomy 28 and 64. Okay. It says, and the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai, shall scatter thee, you see, among all people from one end of the earth even unto the other. And you see, us being the true people of the Lord. All right, the children of Israel, the Israelites. All right, by blood, by nationality, going back to the seed line of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You see that we're no longer, over in the Holy Land, inhabiting and controlling the Holy Land. All right, but rather these devils. All right, because these curses is upon us, man. All right, these curses is in effect right now. All right. And it says, and the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai, shall scatter thee among all people. So we're in all the nations that you see. You got Israelites all over. All right. Jake, the Jake man, us loving women. All right. We love our own. But right now, a lot of our women are enemies on this side. All right. Outside of the, the true, sincere sisters out there. All right. Jake loved women, so he laid with these heathen women from these different heathen nations. And you got Israelite foreigners, Gentiles, all right? Not natural Gentiles, not heathens. You got Israelites scattered among the heathens, okay? Looking like the heathens, speaking their languages, all right? May have taken on their customs until they come into this knowledge, this truth, And that's why it's recorded in Romans, the 8th chapter, book of Romans, chapter 8 and verse 16. And it reads, the Spirit itself bears witness with our spirit. All right, whose spirit? The spirit of the Israelites, you so-called Negro, so-called Latino, so-called Native Americans, that we are the children of Yahweh. We are the sons and the daughters of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh. Okay. And, how do we know this? How do we know who we are? How can we identify who we are? Take, for example, these curses, man. These curses are on us no matter where we go here on the planet Earth. This is how you can identify who the Israelites are. Okay? Because these curses, are not affecting these heathen nations. All right? It's affecting the people of the Lord. Only until Deuteronomy 30 and 7 comes into place, where the Lord will put these curses on our enemies, the ones that hate us, then will these heathens, all right, have the curses on them. Okay? And we see that the Lord, he is about to uplift these curses off of his people and fully set that on these heathens, starting with Esau, Edom. Even as we already see, the downfall taking place of Esau. Okay? It says here in the book of Deuteronomy 28 and verse 45, moreover, let me start up because it adds to the lesson. It says, verse 44, and he shall lend to thee. Let's talk about our enemy, Esau. And thou shalt not lend to him. So who we got to go to get money from? All right, if we need financial aid from, okay, if we need help, we got to go to Esau. All right, and he's the lender. All right, it says, and he shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. Yeah, he's at the top right now. He's at the height of his rulership, and we are surely at the bottom. All right, we could surely observe that, and we feel that. Okay, verse 45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed. And these curses have overtaken us and destroyed us as a people, man. This is a punishment. All right, of course, for disobeying, the first covenant, the law, statutes, and commandments that Yahweh Shema Shai gave unto us as a people, man. This is the result. This is the punishment. Because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord Yahweh thy power, to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee. And this is what happened, man. We're going to finish out Deuteronomy 28:64, along with all these curses, man, that fell upon us, man. Deuteronomy 28:15, the explanation on down to 68, those are the curses that affect us, man. All right, so yes, we are still in captivity. All right, and as we read, it's going to be on us, forever. And this is until, of course, Yahweh Shema Shai uplift those curses up off of us as a people, man. Only one who could take these curses up off of us is the ones that put the curses on us. All right, the one that's punishing us. All right, and that's the Heavenly Father Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai. Okay, and he gonna send Yahweh Shai to come and get us, redeem us, man. Lord will we of that hopeful elect. Okay. Deuteronomy 28:64, and the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai shall scatter thee among all people from one end of the earth even unto the other. So how and why are we over here in Babylon the Great? And that's for the purpose of us going into captivity. All right, we know the history. Second Esdras 13th chapter, the Northern Kingdom coming over here. All right, to try to keep the laws, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Shema Shai that they didn't keep, when they was under the Assyrian captivity, okay, or in the Holy Land for that matter. All right, but it was all prophecy for Esau Edom to come over here and do what he did, rape, rob, and murder, while bringing the Southern Kingdom over here, rape, robbing, and murdering them as well, and throwing us into captivity, placing us under captivity, man. Okay, child of slavery. All right, right now we're still working for Esau, the Gad, Reuben, these different reservations, man. Okay, you see what's happening to the so-called Hispanic, Latino, the tribes, all right, being deported, treated as aliens, calling them immigrants, you know, when they occupied this land before this devil got over here, man. All right, but this is all a part of the curses, man. Okay, it says, and there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. Yeah, now a lot of our people in these different religions, mainly Christianity, serving a so-called image of Caesar Borgia, a so-called image of the Lord, who they ignorantly call Jesus, which is an image of Caesar Borgia. All right, some of our people are in Islam, bound down to a rock, so on and so forth, man. It's a list of things that Jake go off in idolatry, spiritual adultery against Yahweh Shem Shai. All right, but these are the curses, man, and they're taking full effect on us. So I was just making the point, hey, we still here in captivity, man. All right, over here in America, it says, behold, Baruch 3:8, behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us for a reproach and a curse. And we read the curses. Okay. And to be subject to payments. Yeah, are not we bound by these contracts? Do not we still have to pay taxes over here in Babylon the Great? You stop making payments and stop paying your taxes and see what happened, man. Okay. Esau give you a quick reminder that you are a slave over here, man. All right. It says, and to be subject to payments according to all the iniquities of our fathers, which we are our fathers coming back in the reincarnation. This is the punishment. All right. And it says, which departed from the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai, our power. Okay. It says, hear Israel. So this is addressed to Israel, no other nation, man. Hear Israel, the commandments of life, give ear to understand wisdom. And that's what the elect is doing. Okay. We're taking heed into the instructions, the words, all right, which is the words of eternal life of Yahweh Shem Shai. And we are increasing, in this wisdom, man, in this truth. Okay. And that's only the elect of the house of Israel, man. Because only the elect is going to be saved here on this side. Okay. Let me grab this, man. Okay. Because right now we got the bases of men, the lowest of the low, when it comes to men that Yahweh Shem Shai created in the planet Earth, ruling over us right now, man. Okay. Let's get this. Let me pull up this picture again. See, this is a picture of, I believe, Theodore Roosevelt sitting upon a horse, which is spiritual in itself, symbolizing him being in power, Esau being in power. And what do you got, all right, on the left and the right of him? The tribes, okay? The children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, all right? While they walking on alongside of him, trailing him. While he sit on the horse, with this stout look. All right. This is a symbol to show that we Israel are in captivity under Esau. He's in power. And this scripture, it lines up, man. All right. Ecclesiastes 10:7. I have seen servants upon horses. Who's the servants? Esau. Okay. They're upon horses. They're in their power. They're in their rulership, man. All right, and you got the rest of the heathen nations in league with this devil. When their rightful order of Esau and these heathens is to be servants unto the house of Israel, and they will return back to that estate. All right, when the Lord comes back and flip things right side up, because right now everything's upside down. Okay. It says, and princes. Who's the princess? Israel. Okay. Israelites. Yasha Allah. All right. Yah, he, Shar, prince. Allah, power. We are princes of the power. Walking as servants upon the earth. And that's because these curses are upon us. We are in captivity, man. Okay. But we know that Yahweh Shema Shai, he is about to deliver us and get us out of this, lowest state that we're under. Okay? But we have to be patient and wait upon the Lord. Because we see the prophecies playing out, but they're all playing out on the Lord's time. The Lord's timing. Okay? Let me get this. Sirach 10 and 4. It says, the power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable. You see? So, hey, who controls or who rules in the planet Earth is in the hand of Yahweh Shema Shai. Okay? And, the Lord is about to set up, the Heavenly Father, that is, Yahweh, is about to set up Yahweh Shai to rule in the planet Earth, along with his hopeful elect, the 144,000, the governing body, hence the kingdom of Israel. Okay, that is coming, and the so-called white man, he know that his time is short, man. Okay, he see Yahweh Shema Shai making moves, the prophets out here prophesying, and these things coming to pass. All right, he know his time is short. Job 14:5, seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. So there's an expiration date for Esau and his queendom. All right, and it was set by Yahweh Shema Shai. Okay, hence why this devil, is speeding up the process with his new world order. All right, trying to implement his charagma to see up everybody. Revelation 12:12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, which means destruction. For the devil, Diablos, the false accuser, the slanderer, which is the so-called white man, the deceiver, is come down unto you, having great wrath, the wicked elite, about to declare martial law. Okay? And he gonna declare martial law out of the chaos that he's bringing in the planet Earth, man. Okay, best believe the so-called white man, he's orchestrating this. All right, and that's because the Lord is working on the minds of these devils, man. Proverbs 21:1, the king's heart, Hebrew word la'ab, the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. All right. And the Lord is putting it on the minds of these international bankers, these elites, to bring the chaos, to collapse the dollar. All right. To hike the prices, to bring orchestrated famine. All right. To stop the imports. Okay. The shelves being empty. People rioting, looting. All right. Insurrection. So he can bring that martial law. To bring in the troops, man. All right. So he can bring in the slaughter. All right. Whoever's resistant against what he's trying to establish, bring in the slaughter and set up his new world order, man. Okay. For the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. And let me get this article. All right. I was listening to the elder Mawatazak Ban Gad 2. That's his channel. Subscribe to it and be edified. Dealing with this new orders that Trump signed. It says Donald Trump's new order sparks martial law concerns. And this is this not what the elder apostles, the elder bishops, the men that enter into their labors on down, have been warning about, man. Okay? martial law, all hell breaking loose, World War III, chaos, all right, destruction. All right, this is all a slippery slope. All right, a prophecy, man. Everything is about to be fulfilled, man. The Lord is bringing His word to pass, man. Okay. Let me read a little bit of this. It says President Donald Trump has ordered federal agencies to increase the flow of military and national security equipment to local law enforcement. So your police, all right, the apostles, the elder bishops, brothers have been speaking on this, militarizing the police, because they know what's about to happen, man. When these people see these prices, a loaf of bread for $50, $100, gas is outpriced. They can't afford their living. They can't afford food. Shelves begin to be empty. All right, because that's what these trade wars, these tariffs, and China not sending no exports over here. Okay, so that we can import them. Okay, that's what, when them containers stop rolling in, them shelves come up empty because the truckers ain't got nothing to take to the stores. The distribution centers, and from there the stores to stock up the shelves. These people gonna bug out. They gonna riot. They gonna loot. 2nd Esdras 15 and 16 chapter is gonna be in effect, man. These are the times we're in. And this is why he trying to militarize the police, because he's going to declare martial law, man. Okay. It says President Trump has ordered federal agencies to increase the flow of military and national security equipment to local law enforcement. A move that has raised concerns about the militarization of policing across the United States. You see, I want to get a quick precept, man. Okay, because this is all prophecy, man. All right, I'm gonna get that 2nd Esdras 15. 2nd Esdras 15, and let's see, let's start at 14. It says, "Woe to the world, destruction to the world, and them that dwell therein." It's about to get real ugly, man. "For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands." What is that? Civil war. Okay? You're going to have civil war, race war. These people are about to clash with one another, man. They're about to clash, insurrections. All right? It says, and go up against the government as well, man. It says, "For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, and they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power." So you see, they ain't gonna be hearing what DJ Trump, DJT had to say. None of the mayors, the governors, all right, local law enforcement. They just gonna be all hell, chaos, anarchy. Okay, because once they stomach start touching their back, hey, all bets are off. The law is null and void to them. They're gonna be like beasts, animals. Okay. Another prophecy, just to line up, another precept. The book of Isaiah, the 19th chapter. Isaiah 19 and 2. It says, "And I will set the Egyptian against the Egyptian." The modern day Egyptians is these Americans, man. Because this is spiritual Egypt. Revelation 11 and 8. This is spiritual Sodom and Egypt. So these American citizens, these are the modern day Egyptians. All right. And they are about to go against one another. "And they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom." It's going to be a royal rumble out here. Okay. These Americans is armed to the teeth. The blickies, the ARs, the pistols, But if the ammo runs out, they got, the knives, the bats, so on and so forth, man. Okay? And it says, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. And that's when Esau, he got to bring in that martial law, that order out of chaos. That is his method, his MO. All right? Problem. All right? Esau brings in the problem. He sees how the people react, and he brings the solution, man. He's going to declare martial law. And best believe when that dollar collapse, all right, people can't afford nothing. Hyperinflation is in effect. He gonna bring in what? That C-hip. That Revelation 13, 16 through 17. That charagma, the RFID micro C-hip. All right, the new form of buying and selling, man. We see where it's headed. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Martial law, man. Okay. It says, research into militarized police forces have found the practice can erode public trust. Yeah, the people being against the government, not trusting the government. And we already see that different protests, uproars of the people around the world. Okay? 2nd Esdras 9 and 3. All right? It's already happening. And pretty soon these peaceful protests will get deadly. And it's going to call for martial law, man. It says, escalate encounters between police and citizens and blur the distinction between military operations and domestic law enforcement. So it's the stage is set, man. Yahweh Shema Shai is about to bring this thing to an end, man. All right, and the end is going to be bloody. It's going to be violent. Okay, you're going to need the protection of Yahweh Shema Shai in that day. We need them now. We going to need them then, man. Even more then. All right, 2nd Esdras 15, 17 again. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. And if you are a brother or sister that's seen that movie Civil War, where you had those checkpoints, you want to go into state to state, city to city. You got those militarized checkpoints. You got to have certain clarification, identification, special clearance. And we know it's going to be that C-hip, man. These 15-minute cities, these smart cities Esau, Edom trying to set up, establishing this digital prison that he's establishing. Hey, it's here, man. Okay? This ain't science fiction. This is reality, man. This is prophecy. This is the word of the Lord in full effect. 2nd Esdras 15 and 18. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. And this is what it's all about. The pride of Esau, the pride of these Americans, all right, the pride of these 2/3, man. All right, this is why all this destruction, all this chaos, the mayhem, the judgment is going to be taking place. Pride go before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. Okay? What am I quoting? Proverbs, I'm going to say 16 and 18. Sometimes I mix up the numbers. Let's see. It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 16 and verse 18. Yeah, that's correct. Pride go before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. This is why the Lord bringing all this, man. All right. And ultimate judgment that the Lord is bringing, courtesy of World War III, is thermonuclear destruction, man. Okay, missile fire. All right. These people over here in America being the missile food. All right. When the Lord is done with them. All right. These people gonna be on the end of the Lord, shooting down concentrated laser beams on this place, man. Okay? The Lord is not playing, man. He never was. 2nd Esdras 15 and 19. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Yeah, Jacob's trouble, man. Okay? These people are about to, about to storm each other's houses here soon with the blickies, man. Okay, I think they say something about the average American citizen has 3 guns to each American citizen. Man, it's way more than that, man. These Edomites collect guns like Jake collects shoes, man. Hats. These Edomites is armed to the teeth. Okay, and they ready to use them, man. They gonna use them, man. They're gonna be using it against themselves. They're gonna be using it against the government. All right, it's gonna be a bloodbath. All right, but out of all of this, Jeremiah 30:7, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble. So no other time in history, the worst time in history you could think about. 70 AD. All right, hardcore chattel slavery. All right, the captivity of the Assyrians, the Babylonians. None of it can mount up to the times we're in right now. Okay, it's gonna pale in comparison. All right, the time, where Jake, was eating their children. Okay, I forget where that account is. Might be 2 Kings, the 6th chapter. Let's see here, 2 Kings 6. I'm using my sword as well. My phone, sword on my phone. 2 Kings. Let's pull it up for edification's sake. Let's pull this up, man. That's what we're here to do. Edify the elect. 2 Kings, the 6th chapter, and let's see here, 15. Yeah. 2 Kings 6 and 15, where Jake was eating their children, man. It says, Salah. It's in that same chapter, but further down. Salakia. Verse 24. It says, and it came to pass after this that Ben-Hadad, the king of Syria, gathered all his hosts and went up and besieged Samaria. And there was a great famine. So it was a siege, similar to martial law. All right, best believe Esau in this time, he going to be hoarding the food, the resources. He ain't going to be able to go in or out. Okay, this is what it's going to be. It's going to be a siege again. Okay, history repeats itself, man. All right. It says, and there was a great famine. It's going to be a famine here in Samaria. And behold, they besieged it until an ass's head, a donkey's head, was sold for 80, which score is 20. All right, so 4 times 20, all right, is drawing a blank. 80. All right, 80 pieces of silver. All right, pieces of silver, and the 4 part of calves of dove's dung for 5 pieces of silver. All right, so they was even eating bird feces, man. Okay. 2 Kings 6 and 26. And as the king of Israel was passing upon the wall, there cried a woman unto him, saying, help, my lord, O king. And that's how these women gonna be here today. All right, looking for help, and the only help is gonna be Yahweh Shema Shah helping them through a man of the Lord. All right, that's why a man is gonna be more precious than fine gold, even the golden wedge of Ophir. All right, because the elect gonna be protected. The servants is gonna eat. The servants gonna drink. They're gonna rejoice. Excuse me. Isaiah 65 and 13. Okay, we gonna be in good case. That the angels gonna be protecting us. Excuse me. Daniel's 12 and 1. Michael the archangel defending us, man. Okay. 2 Kings 6 and 27. And he said, if the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai do not help thee, whence shall I help thee? Out of the barn floor or out of the wine press? See, the Lord ain't with you. How we gonna help you? Okay, how I'm gonna help you? That's what he was saying to her, and that's how we gonna be. If the Lord ain't with you, 2/3 niggas, which we know he ain't, and we ain't gonna help the 2/3, man. Hey, Jeremiah 11 and 14. Okay? We ain't lifting up a cry. We ain't praying for him. Okay? Let me grab that real quick, man. If the Lord ain't with these niggas, what makes you think we gonna be with him? Okay? Jeremiah 11 and 14. It says, "Therefore pray not thou for this people, neither lift up a cry or prayer for them, for I will not hear them in the time that they cry for me for their trouble." And why is that so? Because the liberty we got now, the grace period, the warning they've been given, they shunned it. They didn't listen. They didn't hearken. They did their own thing, and the Lord ain't gonna help them, man. Neither can we help them. You know. 2 Kings 6 and 28. And the king said unto her, What alieth thee? And she answered, This woman said unto me, Give thy son, that we may eat him today, and we will eat my son tomorrow. So that's how bad it got. The siege, the famine. All right, and it's gonna be worse here in this time. That's the point we're making. So we boiled my son and did eat him. And I said unto her on the next day, Give thy son, that we may eat him. And she had hid her son. You see that? Okay? The times we enter Jacob's trouble, gonna be way worse than that. Jeremiah 30 and 7. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble. It's going to be time of trouble for the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans of today, man. The Lord's people. Okay? And, you know, Esau going to feel it. The heathens going to feel it as well. But it's going to be the time of trouble for you Israelites. For us as Israelites. Okay? Because this devil is coming after us. The persecution, the hatred, he's targeting us. Okay? But nonetheless, it's going to be trouble for them 2/3. We're going to be going through it. Lord will we have that hopeful elect number. We're going to go through it. But it's not going to be judgment for us. It's going to be judgment for the 2/3, man. Okay? It says, it is even a time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. And that is you elect. Okay? How you going to be brought through? How you going to be saved? How you going to be delivered? By Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, having faith in Yahweh, by Hashem Hamashiach Yahweh Shai. Because the Lord is sending Yahweh Shai to come and get us, man. Alright? The one whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus. Yahweh Shai. He saves, he delivers. He is the deliverer, man. And he's coming back to get his elect. Lord will, we are of that number. Okay? So I'll end it on this and conclude this lesson. Lord will is edifying to the elect of the house of Israel. This is St. Matthew 24 and 30. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn. And they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power. Salakia, verse 29. Immediately after the tribulation of those days, the time of Jacob's trouble, shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of heaven shall be shaken. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and shall gather together his elect from the four winds, and from one end of heaven to the other. So wherever we've been scattered to, Yahweh Shai Hamashiach, returning on that fathership with his heavenly hosts, the angels, he's coming to get his elect, man. So Lord wills edifying through the spirit and through the power of Yahweh, by Hashem Hamashiach, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakaha Kodash. Alright? You know, the Lord he is wrapping this thing up, man. Alright, salvation is nearer than when we believe. Romans 13 and 11. Alright, Lord wills edifying to the elect. With that I say shalom, shalom to the hopeful elect.